Ho, ho, ho. I see the GenXperts have made another Christmas podcast. They're naughty and nice at the same time. I may need to make a weird list just for them. Merry Christmas.
Welcome you back to the GenXperts podcast. I am your host, Derek Phelps, and still today is part 2 to Christmas. I'm rolling with my motley crew today. Dr. Derek Clements and Miss Courtney Clements. Yes, the Hunger Games have come and we represent our eras, so we're the survivors. The other ones, they're alive. We allowed that to happen. They were just the weaker. We're going to continue part 2 of Christmas today, but now we are moving into the meat and potatoes of the whole discussion, media during Christmas. We're going to kick it off with Christmas television shows, and there are quite a bit. I believe the first one we'll throw out there is the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Yeah, the Christmas special by which all Christmas specials are measured, at least in terms of cartoons.
Never miss it.
No.
I can always remember Mom calling me, being outside on that night to come in and park it in front of the TV because Charlie Brown was going to be on. In this era now of digital, you can watch it whenever you want to. But back in the 80s, even during the VHS era, it was hard to come across a Charlie Brown Christmas VHS. I mean, you could probably record it, but it just seemed special. You knew it was time then. Yep.
Now in the last Christmas episode, what year did you say this one?
That came out in 1965.
Okay.
In the fall, winter, right before Christmas of 1965.
Okay.
My dad was
Gen Xers grew up with it.
My dad was actually 17 years old when this came out.
Okay.
Love it. Watch it every year. It never fails. When Linus starts explaining what Christmas is all about, I get teary-eyed.
And of course, you probably couldn't make a Christmas special with that particular thing in it. Today, there would be too many people who would get upset about
They would be a little cross about it, but I don't know. I think with it being a children's story, I mean, it's definitely geared towards children. I think there may be a little more leeway, but I guarantee if it ran on Hallmark, they'd talk about it all they want.
Sure.
That's another thing we'll discuss probably later is the rise of the Hallmark.
Yes.
I think that's all they run.
What's interesting is by the time we're watching it, there are so many other cartoons that are action. Yet this was one that we all watched repeatedly that is not full of bang, zoom, cartoon explosions, coyote falling off a cliff, boom. That's got a pretty cool message.
Yeah. Well, and you look at the series, too. I mean, it's any Charlie Brown special. Charlie Brown is really a sadder character when it comes to the group.
Oh, bless him.
He is just kind of the outcast, but everybody still loves good depressed. Old Charlie Brown.
Yeah. I mean, he gets
crapped on.
He gets crapped on a lot.
Yeah, it's even when he's directing the Christmas play. Well, when he brings the tree back, he's like this stupid freaking tree. Gosh, Charlie Brown, you suck at this. I'm thinking, man, hey.
Or Lucy tormenting him with the football.
She's a jerk. Well, we were watching a Charlie Brown. I forgot what it even was, but it was after the Halloween special. We watched this other one where it was magic. And Snoopy had messed up a magic trick and made Charlie Brown invisible.
Oh.
And he was taking full-on advantage of being able to kick the football.
I never saw that one. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
good on you, Charlie.
It's on my digital collection. There's always like the holiday special, and then there's an extra one after it. Like Charlie Brown Christmas always had like New Year's. I think there's an election day one. I mean, they covered quite a bit.
Covered the topics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Valentine's. But yeah, the Charlie Brown Christmas special, one I always had to run in and watch. Of course, next on our list is the Grinch.
And we do mean the original Grinch, not the Jim Carrey movie.
Not Benedict Cumberbatch.
The cartoon.
Not the modern cartoon. Yeah. I'm talking about which was, I just looked that up, 1966. is when that cartoon came out.
And just another one you sit around, I think it ran on TBS for a while too.
Probably.
But always had to be there to watch it. When you hear the song for the Grinch, you know.
Oh, epic sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
My wife on the Who singing, she has some alternative lyrics that aren't appropriate, but it's friggin' hilarious.
Oh, well, we'll need to hear that sometime this holiday season.
So I crack up because she'll do it in the middle of, and you're sitting there watching it, and you're like, "Oh, it's the Grinch, how the Grinch stole Christmas," and you're like, "Dang it, Bridget, what did you just say?"
But between Charlie Brown Christmas Special with the Vince Guaraldi trio, that is just epic. It's not specifically Christmas music, but thanks to the Charlie Brown Christmas Special, you hear any of that and you instantly think winter and Christmas.
When you hear that intro to Christmas Time is Here, and they're all ice skating on the lake, and you're like, all right, here it is. We're in for the moment. Well, and the Grinch too. Actually, at Halloween, I watched Halloween is Grinch Night.
Really?
It's a pretty good little cartoon. It's kind of scary.
I've never heard of it.
Watch it.
Halloween is Grinch Night. Okay.
It's somewhat terrifying. The Grinch, between the Grinch you get and the Grinch Stole Christmas and the Grinch and Halloween is Grinch Night, he's not a nice guy.
Well, I mean, he's really not meant to be.
No, I mean, but it gives him some more background on who he is. Then, of course, we cross into Frosty the Snowman, Ralph Fresno Reindeer, all the Rankin and Bass Christmas.
Yes. That's not exactly, it's not quite claymation, is it?
I don't know, stop motion?
Maybe stop motion, because it's certainly not a cartoon.
I looked it up. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is the only outlier. The rest do fall in our generation era. Rudolph was like 1964, I think. Okay,
but we all did grow up with it.
Oh, again, just ran on television. Actually, this year, Frosty and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer are running on NBC for the first time in over 50 years.
Really?
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're making their triumphant return.
Good.
Can't wait. December 6th, I think, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They're coming soon.
Christmas traditions that have held up through generations at this point.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty Snowman, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yes. You
always had your celebrity narrator to each one. I mean, let's see.
Burl Ives was Frosty.
Yeah.
Who was the Grinch? It was one of those old horror stars.
Was it Boris Karloff?
I think it was Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
Who was,
And Frosty had Jimmy Durante.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Completely forgot that.
Andy Griffith, I think, was the narrator for one of the Rankin and Bass specials. And then I think...
that sounds right.
There was another one. Fred Astaire, I believe, was the narrator for one.
I'm seeing the picture I'm seeing the character in my head.
Yeah, because you have, Santa Claus coming to town. The Year Without a Santa Claus. Jack Frost falls into that.
Forgot about that one.
I mean, there's Rankin and Bass put out, I think I have a list pulled up of all the list of Rankin and Bass Productions films. 64 was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. 1968, The Little Drummer Boy.
Yes.
Frosty the Snowman came out in 69. Funny one in 68, The Mouse on the Mayflower.
I don't know that one.
70 was Santa Claus is Coming to Town. 71, Here Comes Peter Cottontail. Let's see. 74, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Okay.
76, Frosty's Winter Wonderland.
Okay.
And Rudolph's Shiny New Year.
Okay.
I know there was a Little Drummer Boy book too. That's interesting. 1977, the same year Rankin and Bass released The Hobbit. They also had Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey.
Nice.
79 was Jack Frost and Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
Okay.
And I think 1985, Rankin and Bass, The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. And it was stop motion.
So growing up, we just really had a wealth of holiday specials that previous generations did not have.
Yeah, I mean, there was a ton. I mean, that's just Rankin and Bass.
Wow.
I believe there was like a couple Looney Tunes Christmas specials. My favorite, watch it every year, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
There you go.
I do not believe I have ever seen that.
Oh, I own it. Digital. Oh, God, I love Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Oh, my gosh. That's probably you start listing out, like, and I guess you could call it a TV special. It ran on HBO, but we were fancy. We had cable.
Ooh.
Yeah, I remember you rich people.
City folk.
I come from a middle-class family. we had HBO, and I was only allowed to watch it at certain hours. But
true.
But yeah, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I mean, it was Jim Henson.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we can't be Jim.
Kermit the Frog introduced the entire story.
Okay.
And it's based on a book. Actually, I thought about purchasing the book, but it's a good story about a poor family. Mm-hmm. The mother otter raising Emmett, and the father's passed away, and they don't have much money, and they're trying to get each other Christmas gifts. And both enter a talent contest thinking the prize money, they'll each, thinking if they win, they'll buy the other a gift. So Emmett puts a hole in the wash tub that his mother makes him a living doing other people's laundry because they're going to have to make a wash tub bass guitar for his band.
Oh.
The mother, is just singing on her own and is wanting to buy Emmett a guitar with a pearl inlay.
Oh.
Mother of pearl inlay. Yes, very fancy. Both don't know until the night of the performances that they're doing this.
So very Gift of the Magi kind of situation.
Very Gift of the Magi situation. But Jim Henson and all his little creatures telling the story. Very touching. Great music, too. They had great songs. It's another one that just pulls at your heartstrings, but very much a Christmas oriented. He's out in the beginning cutting down a Christmas tree, and basically it's just a little limb. But great story. I loved it. And that's one that I know when I bring it up, you know instantly when you say it, you can look at someone's face and go, they've never seen it. Because they're like, I've never heard of this before in my life. And then you watch it and you're like, cool. I didn't know that was out there. But it's what I grew up with. Trying to think if there's any other Christmas animated kids oriented TV shows. I'm sure there are. God, there were a ton.
But what's interesting that as you're going through this list, I'm certainly not seeing Hanukkah represented.
No, this is definitely American television, and it's really more the Christian based idea of the holiday season, and you're not seeing Hanukkah represented or Kwanzaa represented or any
of the other December holidays.
Yule is not being sent there.
No.
So you're just seeing
not back in the day.
No Krampus.
No.
Not back in the day.
Not in my Reagan era America. Oh gosh. Only the good stuff. I'm sure if Bridget was in here, she would probably talk about holiday specials that she had watched, one she always brings up. The Christmas special with, what's its face on PBS. I'll think of it in a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. It always had Bubby and Cece would dance, and they had the
Lawrence
Welk's Christmas special.
Okay.
What scares me is we both knew who it was.
Yeah, because when I think of it, I'm almost the only thing that ever comes to my mind is the SNL spoofs on Lawrence Welk. Oh, thank you. But she has watched many. Of course, our parents are older, and
we watched it in our house.
Yep.
Yes,
Lawrence Welk Christmas special. That was a big one for her.
This is a great way
I don't know if she enjoyed it, but it was
a great way to get your kids interested in the arts, with that type of music and dance. So,
and a lot of just regular television series would have a Christmas episode somewhere buried in that.
Oh yes.
I wonder if Hee Haw had. I'm pretty sure.
I was thinking the same thing out of my head.
I'm sitting here wondering about Hee Haw.
Hee Haw Christmas special would be pretty funny, actually. Oh, you get that going all the way. I Love Lucy had Christmas episodes.
And of course, it's different in America because with the BBC, now that we have all of the networks, you think about the Christmas special is the thing. Doctor Who's Christmas special, Call the Midwife Christmas special. Because it's all on Christmas Day stuff.
Bridget got me hooked on Call the Midwife. Oh my gosh, I love that series.
I'm finally caught up.
Love that series. That's a well-written series.
Have you read the books?
No, I have not.
Do you want to read the books?
Sometime.
I have the books.
Oh, wow. It is a great series. Oh, my gosh. But yeah, the Christmas special, man, that's what kicks off everything.
I mean, and it's, of course, for them, it's very in between. For America, it's like, okay, here we are in the middle of our season, and so we'll have the Christmas special. But with the BBC, it's like, okay, season's over. We haven't shown anything for months, but it's time for the Doctor Who Christmas special. Yeah. Okay.
Well, and,
which we have to watch. I have to watch it.
Bridget always watches When Calls the Heart, their Christmas special. And it's always, I don't. I mean, I may be sitting there and it's playing in the background. I'm just on my phone, but it's always on there. But, it seems like everything had a Christmas special somewhere along the way. And then you get, let's see, on our list here we have Christmas movies that are definitely Christmas movies. And there are a few.
Not to be confused with the debatable ones.
Yeah, we'll get to the debatable
ones. A Christmas Story, is first on the list. I mean, it's in the title. Yeah. It's a Christmas story.
Yep. 1983.
Didn't do well in theaters when it was released.
Cult classic.
Huge following. When TBS and TNT start running at 24 hours on Christmas Day.
Yes.
If you get associated. Honestly, I didn't probably watch A Christmas Story till I was probably in my early adult years. Because it just didn't stand out.
For me, it's after we had married into a family that watched it every year, and that's how I saw it.
One of our Christmas season traditions in our family, at least for most of while my brother was still living, we would all of us get together at my mother's house and we would make Rotel dip and we would order pizza and we would all sit and watch A Christmas Story together. And when his girls were born, there's a picture of me somewhere and we're laying on a pallet on the floor because they wanted to be with Aunt Courtney. So we're on the floor and we're, the last couple of years that my brother was living, it was harder for us because he only wanted to do it at Mom's house, and that was a little harder with him in the wheelchair. But I mean, Christmas Story it was based on a short story. And God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash.
Yes.
Yep. And I have that book at my house. Yeah, I have the book with the short stories in it. And I think there's so many, it feels like to me, lines that from that movie that have just come into the culture, like, you'll shoot your eye out.
Oh, fudge.
Fudge. You got to say it the right way.
Yeah.
Oh, fudge.
Just saw a T-shirt for sale that said that. With the little Santa hat.
Bumpuses.
Pink. I look like a pink nightmare.
Yeah. My favorite is still Randy just laid there like a slug. Keep my arms down.
Triple Dog Daria.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, there's a bunch of one-liners in that. And you can, and again, if you say those one-liners, you'll know exactly who's watched that movie and who has not.
And they done a sequel.
Yeah.
Here in the last couple of years.
The Christmas Story.
Yeah, it was not bad.
It was pretty good. It was, they've made sequels, but they weren't any good at all.
No.
They didn't capture that. But you bring back close to most of the original cast that are still living.
Yep.
And put them together, and it's, it feels more like that story is being told.
Yes. It's a much better continuation than any of those other things, yes.
Yellow eyes. I swear to God, yellow eyes. 1 second. One thing I did forget about when we talked about Thanksgiving earlier is every year I watch the WKRP
Turkey Drop.
Oh,
just one to throw out there that just hit my mind. I actually bought it on Vudu because I want to watch it at Thanksgiving because it is the funniest freaking episode.
Yeah.
And not many Thanksgiving episodes of television shows, but that one, sorry, we are on Christmas, but that one hit my mind because you will spit laughing.
And that's another one that I just saw for sale on a T-shirt here lately. So it's kind of funny how the Gen X phrases from the shows, either Thanksgiving or Christmas, are popping up on these T-shirts for sale.
One hitting back on TV shows, one I just thought about was Fat Albert's Christmas special.
Hey.
And the Chipmunks Christmas special. And, there were, and those popped up.
Christmas time is near.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those were TV specials that also popped up that time of year. But yeah, going back on films, A Christmas Story, all these one-liners in it. And then the next one on our list, it also has a bunch of one-liners. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I can't say it without laughing because that movie, one, it was kind of funny when I was young. But as an adult who's hosted holiday events with the entire family, I have so much understanding of where they were coming from in this humor.
I mean, the first time I ever saw it was on your couch in that living room, not far from where we're recording this.
Yep.
I just, and of course, I've watched National Lampoon's Vacation a million times.
Yeah.
But Christmas Vacation, I just never cared enough to until you guys kind of made me do it one day.
Made me nervous about getting critters in a live tree.
John Hughes, which also gives us Home Alone, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
I mean, he did the remake of Miracle on 34th Street.
I didn't realize that.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was a Thanksgiving movie.
Thanksgiving, it kind of tied into the holiday season.
So we missed that one on that last episode.
Another one that runs, Uncle Buck, because it kind of falls in close to that time of year.
Okay.
So John Hughes had his finger on the pulse of that holiday feeling too.
Hit them in the holidays.
Yeah. And of course, Home Alone had so many one-liners, and some of them are in terms of gestures, like the face slap, like the scream.
Do you guys give up, or are you thirsty for more?
Yes.
Isn't that where the "You Filthy Animals" comes from? Too?
Yeah.
I just got a T-shirt that said "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal."
Yes. But going back to Christmas Vacation, oh my gosh! So. It's hilarious. If someone's out there listening, you haven't watched it, look it up. You'll find it somewhere. Go to YouTube if you just want to see all the one-liners. It's on, I don't know how much Christmas apparel now.
Yeah.
You can buy stuff now that has jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Shitter's full.
I'm going to have to hit the old explicit on this episode, but still. There's so much. When Clark goes off on that rant, I found that on a shirt.
Really?
I was cracking up. Or Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, Happy Hanukkah. There are so many in that. But again, I look at it and go, I've been through that, having a big family holiday get together. God, it means so much more now because I've had those feelings of like, I've not had my family stay at my house for weeks. I couldn't even imagine that nightmare. And you have Audrey and Russ. So at that time, we kind of saw their point of it. I was like, God, I wouldn't want to share a bed with my sister for a week. That would suck.
Yeah, no.
He's a disease. I'll lay up in bed in my night just having nightmares of what he does in his bed by himself.
But these modern day Christmas and these like Christmas Story, like National Lampoon, it really pushes this narrative that family holiday get-togethers are something to be dreaded and something to be feared, and that everybody screams and yells at each other. And I have not found that to be the case.
No.
It's very different from the Little House on the Prairie.
In real life, my family
Christmas.
has not done that.
No, I can't think of a single family get-together that there was an argument.
No.
Now, the putting it all together sometimes is absolutely
A little stressful, sure.
Yeah. Now, that part I can get behind. Now, I've never seen my dad have a Clark Griswold rant at Christmas. Have I seen him have one?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Go out in the garage when he's working on a car.
Yeah. Oh, same with Lanier Moore.
He created words I'd never heard. And I think it takes that. Yeah, we have these kind of issues at Christmas, but it dials it up to 11 because some of this stuff is so outlandishly. The decorating of the house, for one. I mean, that many lights.
Well, it's all over the top, which kind of, I think, represents the 80s. It's all you needed to go over the top.
Yeah. And
everybody felt they needed to compete,
Yeah.
And I'm like, simplify it. No, man, you don't have to do that. So, in a sense, films like that stress me out a little. Yeah, because of that, you pick up the stress they're throwing down. So.
I don't know, Marco. There's so many. Bend over and I'll show you. I can't say that. I wasn't talking to you. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. But it does take a step away from what we consider like traditional Christmas movies. It does show that flip side of, hey, it can get crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, you take It's a Wonderful Life, which is serious in nature, and it I don't know when it really became a Christmas, synonymous with the Christmas season, but.
Well, it's always been a Christmas movie. It came out in the 40s, and much like Christmas Story, flopped hard in the theaters. And then in 74, whoever's job it was to renew the copyright to keep it out of public domain fell down on the job.
Lost it, yeah.
And so it hits public domain in 74. And, of course, in 74, we had ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS. And if they can get something for free to show, by God, they're going to get something for free to show. And here's this movie with Jimmy Stewart in it that we can show this for free. Heck yeah. So our generation got flooded with Christmas. I mean, with It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah. And so to me, it's much more a Gen X movie.
It's almost become the butt of a joke. I mean, yes. Because it was ran so much.
Yes.
That, and I will credit Turner Classic Movies when they started really rolling, but putting out some of the older Christmas films, like we watched Shop Around the Corner. Bridget's favorite Christmas Carol is the older version. I forgot which one it was, but by gosh, she can point it out.
Oh, I can too.
Alistair or whatever.
Alistair Sim.
Yeah, that's her favorite. But we get a variation of that during our time with Bill Murray and Scrooged.
Yes, which is where, and is Muppet Christmas Carol our generation too?
Possibly.
If the movie thing is not, the television special definitely is, when they went to Fozzie's mom's house for Christmas.
92, firmly 92. Gen X.
So yeah, that would fall in there. There's a bunch of movies that center around the Christmas time of year. One, you get Shop Around the Corner, which was remade into You've Got Mail to match a newer era. Instead of them in the original Shop Around the Corner, they're sending little correspondence letters to each other, not knowing who the other is. They're sending emails to each other.
Yes.
And then they sneak in the sly little thing where Meg Ryan's Business was a bookstore called Shop Around the Corner, to give it a little nod. Jimmy Stewart does a few. He's also in, there's It's a Wonderful Life and Shop Around the Corner. Another one we always seem to get was Meet Me in St. Louis, which gave us Judy Garland's big hit song. But all of those ran like constantly, I think, during Ted Turner owned most of them. Yeah. So he ran them into as much as he could. I'm trying to think of other movies at Christmas time. There were a few that were definitely it was Christmas. That's what it was all about.
But are there any that run 24 hours regularly like Christmas Story? I mean, I don't think it does it now that everybody has streaming, but...
No, they still run 24 hours of Christmas Story.
Do they? Nice.
There's another Christmas film. I think they're running 24 hours this year on a different station.
Oh,
the Yule Log.
Yeah.
Yule Log will be on the station. I'm trying to think. They did had the Ron Swanson character for a while, singing perfectly. See, it wasn't 24 hours, but it was several hours with a glass of Lagavulin waiting to. So that was New Year's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Was it Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger? That was a Christmas-based movie. It kind of came out. If it's Gen X, it came out near the end.
I worked in retail, so to me, that movie was not funny.
Turbo Man.
To me, that movie was a documentary. Yeah.
Well, see, I was on a different topic of retail. We grew poinsettias, so I had to deal with that craziness. which created a deep loathing of poinsettias, but the retail rush was the same.
Tim Allen's The Santa Claus movies.
Oh, yeah.
I blame that movie for making a whole lot of people think the Claus in Santa Claus has an E on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rose Such a Clatter Company. I do like their play on words and some of it. I'm trying to think. There's a few out there. Well, back again, Home Alone. Gosh, dog, Home Alone hit the scene.
And even the sequel wasn't bad.
No. And you get Macaulay Culkin in that and Uncle Buck.
Oh, yeah.
I think Hugh saw him and Uncle Buck and go, we got to use this kid for something else. And he had this project. I don't know if Hughes wrote Home Alone or not, but man, it exploded. I actually can still remember seeing it on the marquee at the Plaza Twin Cinema in 90.
Wow.
You saw the trailers for it. I'm like, I bet this would be pretty funny. Gosh, it's downright hilarious. And it explores that family dynamic. And
Christmas dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even its sequel, Lost in New York, did really well.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the others after did, but those two films, they made some money and they were popular.
Does the rise in Black Friday stress coincide with the rise of stressful Christmas movies?
Oh, it could be.
Interesting thought.
I have them on occasion. Rare occasions.
I wonder if it was that.
But I was just sitting here thinking about that. That's why I've kind of been quiet. I've been pondering dates, thinking about that. It turns into almost a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And then so we see those on stressful matches on the film, so to speak.
I wonder if it's that or, how we've discussed how the boomer generation started focusing on themselves and if it's reflected in film because they're like, okay, we're not doing Christmas in Connecticut. This isn't going to be Norman Rockwell's Christmas or Thanksgiving scene. This is what our lives are like sometimes. And we're just going to be brutally honest about it. Because you think with like Hughes, he's a boomer. And he's seeing it from this perspective. Now, he did have a good insight on teenage life.
Boy, did he.
But maybe that's him saying, hey, let's just be honest about a few things. It's not, it's a wonderful life.
This is how the sausage is made.
Yeah, exactly. And that may be kind of what they were wanting to put out there as a little more realism and finding humor in it. Because there's a lot of humor in the grandpas both snoring. And there is the stress, but you got to take it and laugh at it. Christmas movies that seem like Christmas movies. First on the list is Gremlins.
Oh, yeah.
It was a summer blockbuster movie.
It was.
Yep. Not meant to be a Christmas movie.
Released the same time as Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yep.
I did not realize that.
Yep. Released the same time. There was a stretch there in 84. There was a boatload of big movies released. But in Gremlins, Gizmo was a Christmas present.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the few times we see what was supposed to be, quote unquote, Christmas horror. They were kind of scary, but just not quite enough. The Gremlins were I laughed. I thought it was hilarious.
No, it was, it was more funny than frightening.
Yeah, and humorous little characters. They were there to cause destruction, and some of the things they probably done could have cost human lives in reality. Well, I guess the one they had in the high school science lab, they didn't get a hold of a scalpel or it bit him or attacked him or something.
Yeah.
So, there was some real damage being done by them. Yeah, Gremlins is out there. Of course, we have Die Hard on the list.
Yes.
That's Christmas right there, buddy.
I have only recently started watching it every Christmas.
We did not watch Die Hard. Again, much like with Christmas Vacation, it's been in the last few years that I finally sat down and watched Die Hard from beginning to end. And, it's one of those that's so ubiquitous that you can catch the references even if you've never seen the movie, like the Yippee-Ki-Yay line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're not going to get that explicit.
Mother, father.
Mother, father. But I kind of love that, it has become a Christmas movie because it's so absurd.
Yeah. Attention, police. My favorite is him in the duck. Come to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set during Christmas. Michael Keaton, Batman.
It was the best Batman.
We'll go back on Die Hard and say, it's a Christmas movie when it opens up with Christmas Time in Hollis with Run DMC. That's how you know it's Christmas.
But, I mean, the people who made it, I don't think they ever dreamed. I mean, obviously they wanted to do well with it. Obviously they did do well with it. I don't think they ever in their wildest dreams thought it would become the Christmas movie of a generation.
I don't think they sat down and planned and go, how can we make an action-packed Christmas movie?
The fact
starring
that
Bruce
you can
Willis.
now buy a Hans Gruber falling from Nakatomi Tower, like Advent calendar.
That is hilarious.
That's peak. That is peak right there.
Yes.
But yeah, Batman, was it Batman Begins? No,
Returns.
Returns. Mm-hmm. He has done so many. Batman sometimes. Yeah, I guess it does have a...
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Trading Places is another
Trading
one.
Places is They just set during that time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny movie.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, I'd forgotten she was in that.
Yeah. And the was it Dom Amici and the other guy, I always think of him as like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets.
Get out of my head.
And they appear in a second movie. They're on the street somewhere in another movie.
I remember this. I don't remember the movie, but I remember that happening in that movie.
All right, here's the weirdest one of all on the list.
Okay.
Eyes Wide Shut.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I know. I watched it for the Christmas theme.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed a tree in the background.
Yeah. It's a Christmas film.
Yeah. Of course, it's a very short blurb. It's a Christmas movie. Is it a Christmas movie just because there's a Christmas party with a big old Christmas tree? And then it kind of goes on a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I was feeling the holiday spirit.
I mean, we really have, speaking of Christmas horror, I mean, we kind of have gone that direction. A movie like Krampus certainly wouldn't have made it back in our day, but
it has now. Yeah.
It has now, and there's like the Santa one.
Oh, there's
several.
Christmas.
Yeah, several Santa ones where Santa's like a badass.
Yeah. Or we have Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, which came into prominence. I think our generation probably brought it back to prominence. Because I think Mystery Science Theater probably brought it back for us all.
64. So it's a barely an outlier to Gen X. But again, I'll watch that at your house.
Yeah.
How many freaking Christmas movies have I watched at your house?
If it has Christmas involved, I'll sneak it and find it and then judge it. I will judge it like my cats judge me.
Ooh.
Again, listeners, them of you what are listening, go find Santa Claus Conquers the Martians and watch it. Find it, watch it.
Don't go into it thinking this is going to be anything serious. Go into it with open hearts and open minds. Oh my gosh, it's so bad, but it's so good. Mm-hmm. We were talking earlier, First Blood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch carefully in the sheriff's department, there's a little Christmas tree, almost Charlie Brown-like, small Christmas tree. And one little thing in the background that's close enough to make it an almost Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Johnny Rambo says, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And,
I'll give you a war on Christmas you won't believe.
But, in between recording episode 1 and episode 2 today, I don't know if you were in the room for it, but the question, which I don't think we can ever answer, just because a movie comes out during the Christmas season, does that make it a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I mean, you think the holiday season is typically a good section where, besides summer, they'll drop a blockbuster film because people have free time.
Yes. And
some money to spend. And you do see quite a number of films. Marvel has, I think, scheduled one. I think maybe this year they'll probably have one run in theaters about this time of year.
Well, the kids are out of school. Got to do something with them. What way to shut them up and to take them to the movies.
Back in our day, it was dump them in the mall. And and maybe there's a movie theater at your mall. There you go.
Yeah.
I feel like we're leaving a lot of them out.
Oh, we have to be.
Yeah, and I'm sure this would be a good one to actually light up the comment section because we don't mind going back later and discussing them.
Agreed. We do. We could do a follow up.
Oh my gosh.
We get enough feedback.
the number of Christmas specials out there are numerous.
And I was just looking at one, Are They Really Christmas movie list, and you look at 10, and on each one you found at least 2 the others lists don't mention, which is the interesting part, that have little, they're not as in your face with Christmas as Home Alone is, but there'll be a small segment of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then, like I say, with Turner bringing back a lot of old classics, I don't think I watched Miracle on 34th Street till I was married. I never watched it when I was just growing up or my young adult year. Bridget introduced me to Miracle on 34th Street. Never had seen it.
Really?
Never had seen it. Wow. And then sitting there with that young Dutch girl, and I cried my big grown man butt off when he started speaking Dutch to her.
Yeah. That movie holds up well.
It does hold up well.
Extraordinarily well.
And it's just a good movie. And it's unorthodox in its approach of a Christmas film. Yeah. Because Santa's on trial. I mean, they think he's a nut. They think he's crazy. Well, because Natalie Wood's character's been told her whole life Santa's not real.
And of course, there are still people who raise their kids that way today.
7, 8 years old because, she was in a progressive school.
Yeah.
So, and here's this old gentleman challenging the idea and the notion that she's been taught by her mother, who is seemingly jaded in a lot of ways.
And
and that's what, Maureen O'Hara?
It was. And, Christmas in Connecticut's the same way with the woman who is jaded.
Hadn't seen that until Bridget introduced me to it. I love that. It's funny to see some of those people show up in other films. You're like, oh, yeah, I saw him in the Christmas in Connecticut. I can think of anything else Christmas movie-wise. I may hit back on it, but we do have our Christmas albums, which were very popular at the time to be released.
And still are.
Still are, yeah. There's still quite a bit. See, first on, of course, obviously the soundtracks to the Grinch and Charlie Brown, those were popular.
Oh, yeah. Still are.
Alvin and the Chipmunks, Christmas time.
Of course.
Here.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, in our school Christmas recital, I got tapped to be the one to say, and I still want my Yep. And uncured ham that I am, I was perfectly happy to stand in front of a crowd and do that.
And those albums like that, guaranteed a week or so before Christmas break, our teachers would put them on the record players in our classrooms, and we'd have our Christmas parties, all that fun junk. Since they just made our lives magical. You kids today don't know how good it used to be.
So our teachers, you said, again, Big D or public school, are teachers allowed to decorate their rooms for Christmas anymore?
I do.
Okay.
It's going to seem weird, but probably a week or two before it premieres in our window here, I take my leg lamp to school.
Nice.
Ah, nice.
And I did have one student go, "That's incredibly misogynistic." I'm like, Scrooge, your seat is back this way. And it's because they probably never seen the movie.
Oh, yeah.
They don't get the reference.
Oh, yeah.
I've had one or two teachers.
Don't knock it over. It's fragile. Fragile, yeah.
I've had, there's a couple teachers on our hallway already that have strung up their Christmas lights.
Nice.
Somebody was putting paper on a door this week. Yeah. Not me.
But,
if I go by your office and see that it's dressed up as a gift and a big bow on it, I'm like, time to sit down and have that talk.
Yep.
Yeah, we may have to put him in a home.
I have threatened that one of these days for the Christmas decorations I would do a Krampus theme door just to scare the weak minded. I am in post secondary, so just to frighten the students and staff.
In case any of our listeners don't know, Dr. Clements prides himself on being a grump at Christmas.
Oh, yes. Very much so. Well, I like to bring out the stuff that people get wrong.
Yeah. And they don't want to hear that.
Santa's olden and, stuff like that. And, hey, a couple of Roman holidays back there.
Here's an odd one, too. Here's one I just pull out my old memory hole there. My mom worked for Emerson Electric in Paragould, making motors that went into washers, stuff like that. Every year at Christmas, in that about a week or so before, Emerson would rent out the Plaza Twin Cinema. And all the employees' children got to go there, watch 2 movies for free.
Wow.
Nice.
Santa was there. And he gave us, the old stocking that had the plastic mesh.
Oh,
yeah.
Do they still make those? I have no idea.
I'm sure they're out there somewhere. We all got one of those. I think we also got like an orange and the traditional Christmas gift. There was always a Yogi Bear movie, and it involved Christmas. And the other movie they showed, I'm trying to think, it was a Christmas movie. I'll think of it later what it was, but we got a day. Went till about noon.
Nice.
Noon, 1 o'clock, and our parents would pick us up or they could come with us. But you don't see that, I don't think, hardly any anymore. I mean, and of course, at the holidays, they got a gift certificate for a ham or a turkey for free from the grocer.
I haven't not heard of people getting a ham or a turkey from their employers
hardly anymore. But that was something that was pretty common.
Yeah.
And in lieu of a Christmas bonus, here's your free ham or turkey. Here's
Wine of the Month Club.
Here's your Jelly of the Month Club.
I would like my boss to know that I prefer cash.
Yeah. It's the gift that keeps on giving the year round, Clark. But yeah, back on holiday albums, we hit obviously the Christmas big ones of Charlie Brown and Grinch. You have Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Bruce Springsteen. Love that song every time it comes on.
Very
boss.
rock and roll. Santa Claus is coming.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's spot on.
Thank you.
Yeah. He even starts asking all of his band members what they want for Christmas.
I think one of them might not celebrate Christmas.
There might be one in there.
But, I think it really is kind of our generation where you start to have these singers who consider themselves to be, or who are considered to be, rock and roll or heavy metal, who are taking these Christmas songs like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, or many of the others, and doing them in their style, the rock style, the heavy metal style, because you didn't really, first of all, you didn't necessarily have a lot of those genres much earlier, but I don't, any Christmas album up to our generation was probably going to be very sweet and very treacly and
sugar.
Sugar. And our generation's musicians, I think, did a really good job of taking these traditional songs and making them much more generationally appropriate for us.
Because you have the same thing in country music. It's still a little sweeter for a little longer, I think, but eventually that. But I just looked Jimmy Buffett. I'm a big Parrot head, but I do not have any of the Christmas albums. But he had 3, I think. And I'm like, wow, I didn't realize he had that many. I knew he had at least one I could think of. I found it in a store, a junk store somewhere, I'd probably buy it, but just to have it, the CD. It's got about half of them, give or take.
I was telling Bridget last night, I had seen, I think it was On This Day. It was either Saturday or Friday that in 1979, Paul McCartney had released Wonderful Christmas Time.
Oh.
It's another one you'll hear all the time at Christmas, especially if you're like us and you got Sirius X on your in your vehicle. They dedicate certain stations at this time just playing nothing but holiday music.
Yeah, I'd stay on Jimmy Buffett. The grump.
By God.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. We have
Christmas spirit. I don't care. Get off my lawn.
No kidding. No. Decorations.
My poor wife has to live with this.
Last Christmas by Wham.
Oh, yeah. And, that's of the Christmas songs that games have been made of. And, of course, the game being, for any of you listeners who don't play, it depends on the song. For some of us, it's Mariah. For others, it is Last Christmas. But the whole point is to get through the entire Christmas season without hearing that song. And I think Last Christmas is probably bigger in the UK than it is here. Of course, in America, we've got the Mariah.
But we need to point out, naturally, you can't song bomb somebody.
Yeah, you can't song bomb somebody. If you want to play this yourself, you can't call them up and play it on the phone at them.
And I think, too, Last Christmas would probably be a little stronger if George Michael were still alive today.
True.
Because I think, like Mariah Carey has bought into it all. She's thawing out. She's doing the whole production. I think he would also.
Oh, I've shared some of those memes. Yeah. Oh, my God, here's he comes, because I get sick of hearing it, honestly.
I think he would have bought into it, too, because, it's like Mariah Carey. You made the song. You've obviously made some coin off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Own it. I mean, people, it's a meme. It's all these things now.
You're going to get that extra check the more they play it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Rick Astley just owns Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yep.
Get rickrolled.
Just own that thing.
Last Christmas was 1984.
Yeah.
Before Wham broke up. And it falls under the category of depressing Christmas song. It's Christmas breakup song.
Was it the video they were on a ski trip?
I believe that is correct.
It really was Wham's Last Christmas.
Oh.
It
100% grown.
And I mean, there are other sad Christmas, like I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Totally sad. I mean, coming out of World War II era, of course it's sad. But Elvis Presley's Blue Christmas. Yeah. There is a distinct subgenre of depressing Christmas songs.
Judy Garland's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is just sad.
Oh my gosh.
And then you see it in the movie and it's sadder.
How? Oh my gosh.
Do they know it's Christmas?
Band-Aid. Yes. The charity songs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, what were you saying about this? Or is what you were saying about this the other day radio?
Right, we were talking about this. Do they know it's Christmas? So this was, I asked her, I said, wasn't this one part of kind of like that Band-Aid type of song for people who were starving in certain parts of the world? Mm-hmm. And she said yes, and I said, some of those places aren't predominantly Christian, so they probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, they really don't know it's Christmas.
Wouldn't care.
Depends if they're in a famine in Ethiopia. Well, certain parts of the country are predominantly Christian and certain parts are not.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking about.
There will be parts there that know who lost the Super Bowl because they got their T-shirts.
Yeah. But, Band-Aid was the UK musicians' equivalent of USA for Africa, which was Feed the World.
Feed the World, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
We had a good one of those.
It's not Feed the World. This is
We Are the World.
We Are the World. Thank you.
Yeah.
Which there's a good documentary on.
Oh, there's an amazing documentary on that. But that's
so
that's
Gen
what
Xers check that
out.
Before we move on to the rest of our list, one I didn't see on here was the David Bowie Bing Crosby mashup. That's what you're writing down.
One of the things I wrote down was that mashup from 77.
It's one of my favorite ones to hear every year.
It's kind of a passing the torch sort of situation because wasn't that the Bing Crosby Christmas special?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song. They really collaborate. They sound really good together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they sound amazing.
Yeah, because Bing's near the end of his time and career at that point.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really was a pass. And you think David Bowie, wonder why he passed the torch to Bowie. But once you hear them singing together, I mean.
Oh, David Bowie has a wonderful voice. It's like, well, to me, it reminds me just a little bit of, when Lady Gaga did, I don't remember what song it was at some award show, and it was a Julie Andrews song, and nobody thought Lady Gaga could handle it because she's Lady Gaga, and she comes out and she just blows the entire world away with her vocals.
And just because you're singing in a genre that make money does not mean you cannot sing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what surprised us in both cases.
I have seen some surprises go the other way.
Right.
Ricky Martin was booed off stage when he was in Les Miserables.
No.
Yes, he couldn't carry a tune in a bucket compared to those actual trained performers.
Yeah, well, it's a different kind of music.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different style.
Who was he playing?
Marius.
No.
Yeah, they laughed. They booed him off the stage.
Oh, bless his heart.
Yeah. So it can swing both ways.
Oh, it can. It really can.
And so going to Lady Gaga, she did the duet, "The Baby It's Cold Outside."
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember who is it. Who was it?
Was it Tony Bennett?
I think it's Tony Bennett. Yep, Tony. Yeah.
And then we changed the rule. We changed the words to "Baby It's Cold Outside." What was that? It was John Legend and someone else that they didn't want it to sound as rapey.
Oh, right. It does. It is creepy.
The connotation.
I'm
is
not
there.
letting you out of the house.
I'm not. Yeah, I see where. But
I'm sorry,
different time.
You look for what you find.
No,
You know, I don't feel it is as rapey as some people do.
Yeah, it's just a song to me. I mean, I think Eartha Kitt's Santa Baby.
That is the best Christmas song. Well, secular. That is the best secular Christmas song. I will listen to that song any time of year, any time of day. You know, I will sometimes play it back to back in the car.
Cannot pass it on in the radio.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would lose a finger.
Just Eartha Kitt's version.
Yes.
Nobody else's.
Oh, her version's the best.
Oh yeah, the one, the only.
It is so flirty.
Oh yeah.
Eartha Kitt was great anyway.
Oh, best Catwoman.
Yeah. Nat King Cole's Christmas song.
Yes.
I mean, I know we're
Yes.
drawing off our parents' era more, but it
True.
was so played. I mean,
Yes.
you heard it everywhere.
Well, there
Any
was-
store you went into.
Oh, of course.
I was watching a documentary about Scotch, and they said you drink what your father drank.
Yeah.
And so for us, we listened to what our parents listened to. Mm-hmm. And so it makes sense that we would have picked up, that era's music. And so for, Dad had Santana and Jimi Hendrix and so on. But whenever we got to Christmas songs, that was what was on the radio when I was a kid.
Well, Dad had, Black Sabbath, some of that stuff, but there was a Dean Martin Christmas album
There you go.
there. So, I mean, you just...
Yeah.
And, of course, Blue Christmas was in there.
So I consider them ours, too.
Yeah.
Because
we really listened to
Yeah.
them.
to them.
Yep.
So I grew up on.
We'll hit on Mariah with All I Want for Christmas Is You.
And, I did not think it was Gen X, but then I saw, 94. That's...
Squeaks in.
I think it squeaks in if it's barely an outlier.
Well, one of them says 65 to 90.
Well, that's
it.
just the dates that we
I
were
don't know.
born.
We were alive, so yeah.
I would consider that at least, barely Gen X,
definitely.
but
So there's a joke.
And so we're
family.
slightly out of college, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a joke in family when the kids were younger and this was on. Instead of All I Want for Christmas Is You, Baby, I said, no, she's saying Derek. I said, oh, you didn't know I said, you didn't know I dated Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
And Bridget has helped. She makes fun of it now, but the kids were like trying to really listen close because sometimes that baby's kind of hard to really hear all the consonants in there. I'm like, see, it says Derek. I dated Mariah Carey. I don't know why you kids don't believe me. Look at me. What is there not Mariah Carey would not want right here? Your mom's a lucky woman.
I get them together. I'm going to say, no, it's not Derek, your dad. This is Derek.
It's aggravating when you're playing the game.
She was battling over us both.
That's right.
It's aggravating to try to win that game because I mean even with not being able to be bombed with it, it's still going to happen.
Oh yeah.
We went out one year in Italy. We were in a wine bar in Italy.
Assisi,
we were in Assisi.
The old part of Assisi, even the furthest away you could get from America.
In a wine
St.
bar.
Francis couldn't even protect you from her.
St. Francis could not protect
St.
us.
Chiara could not either.
But it's almost a relief to go out because then if you like the song, you can listen to it. I mean, I honestly, first COVID Christmas, I thought I was going to be safe because nobody was going anywhere. And Paul Kevin, my brother died, and we had to go to the bank to deal with his stuff, and we were in the bank so long.
Oh no!
That it finally came over the speakers, and so. Yeah.
Oh, I was shocked. Manor's not here, but I'm surprised working at Walgreens.
She was in the pharmacy. They didn't have the same sound system.
She lucked out.
Yeah, they played their own music back there.
I don't play the game with y'all because, by God, I love that song. I want to hear it. And, I can, that first little ding, ding, I can see Bridget come unglued. She's like, no, I'm out.
The second you recognize that you're out.
Yeah. And then Michael Bublé turns around and sings it. Or is it Bublé or was it? I think it's Bublé.
I don't know. The only version that counts is Mariah.
He does a pretty good version of it.
And that's great. But for the game, the only version that counts is Mariah.
No, she's the one.
And when do you guys start after Thanksgiving or December 1st?
Yeah, we start Black Friday.
Black Friday, okay. I'll always remember you've got a while to go.
Yes, if I wanted to listen up until like the 27th or 28th of this month, Buble did
The good news is I think most of the stations we listen to on the satellite radio in the vehicle wouldn't play it. So it's only when we're out in the wild we got to be careful.
Yep.
It just shows the reach of that song, though. It's a lot of reach.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anyone else. Did Madonna have any? You thinking big pop names. Did any of those do Christmas songs?
Well, that is an excellent question.
Because, just off the top of my head, that is one I would think would have a song or two out there.
Madonna did a version of Santa Baby.
Yeah, that kind of figures, right?
Yeah.
That kind of plays into her whole mystique.
And that version, no thank you. I'm trying... there was a Jackson 5 Christmas album. So I guess that sort of counts for Michael Jackson.
So, I did Heavy Metal Christmas. So I just looked
the Twisted Sister. There's a video on YouTube of some Twisted Sister Christmas song from their Christmas album.
Let's see, the Heavy Metal Christmas album. They did Oh Come All Ye Faithful. Dawkins did Santa Claus Is Coming to Town. So did Alice Cooper. I need to look that one up.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on an Alice Cooper kick here lately. Mistress for Christmas from AC/DC.
Okay.
1990.
So there were a few.
Rob Halford did Christmas for Everyone. Let me see if I can find some here real quick that everybody would recognize.
What's the one group?
Korn. Oh, no, never mind.
Korn Christmas.
Yeah, well, Korn has a song here, but I just don't recognize it.
I know when I think of Korn, I think Christmas music.
That's right. Korn. Korn with a K. So I think we're really getting down to people I do not know.
Yeah.
Christmas with the Devil from Spinal Tap.
Okay.
1984.
Yes.
There's always was the Merry Christmas. Dun, 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 dun. That's got to be 80s. I'm trying to think of those girls' names.
Guar has a song, Stripper Christmas Summer.
Well, that's...
It's for those of you Guar fans out there. I just like saying it. Guar. Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
I'm surprised Slayer didn't have any.
I was looking. In reality, I expected as they were getting, heat in the 80s by Tipper Gore's crew, that they could come out with a good Christmas song that went over.
Tone it down a little bit. Just kind of...
Just change the spelling. It's not Santa, it's Satan.
Yeah.
Why not?
That'd be kind of funny, actually. Then we have...
Which, there's a film coming out with Jack Black where the kid misspells
Yes, I saw
Santa,
that's coming directly to...
Summon Satan.
Paramount,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited to watch that. Jack Black is hilarious.
So we have... I didn't know Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer was 1979.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't seem like it's...
No.
That's another one that holds up well.
Yeah, well,
I can remember
probably be out on the radio again. Yeah, for sure.
Laughing about it in elementary school, so I guess it's there. Wow.
Yeah. And there was that, and they made a cartoon eventually.
Yes.
Off of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
The next one is the best. New Kids Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Yes. Yes.
Who did that one?
I don't know. It's just a parody song, and the only way I could remember all of at the time, because I listened to hair metal when I was in high school, so that hard rock and hair metal was what I was listening to. So I was not really listening to New Kids by any stretch of the imagination. But there's like part of the tune of the song, Danny, Donnie, Joe, John, Jordan. And that's how I remember the names of the New Kids, is to the tune of funny. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
We also have, we listened to Dominic the Christmas Donkey.
Yes.
Yeah. And if we could add the Hanukkah song, even though it's not Christmas.
Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Christmas song.
I don't know if that's Gen X or Gen Y, but...
I can remember when he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Herschel on Shlomo.
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah.
It tickles me so much. Yeah.
Well, and then
on something on
TV Funhouse gave us Christmas Time for the Jews. Just hilarious.
But and again, thinking about Gen X and really Gen Y, I guess it really is all about Judeo-Christian Christmas,
right?
And we're finally starting to get some Hanukkah stuff in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going, hey, there's other holidays in December besides
Yule. I will be sending out my Yule post on Facebook.
Yeah, Hanukkah Song's 2008, so that is well outside of our purview.
Another one hits during that time. I just thought about Ray Stevens, Santa Claus is Watching You.
Oh, I'd forgotten that one.
Yeah.
I can't even come up with anything to sing that one. Okay, I want to go back to two things because I've been making notes as we've been going, so I hate going backwards. But one thing, because it does have to do with us, is that Christmas Yule log.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading a book, actually, of Dr. Clemens's. It's called The Old Magic of Christmas. And lots of elves and trolls and witches.
The old dark Christmas from Europe.
Dark Christmas. Yeah. And it was talking about the Yule log and how, we really went from the wood fires, the great big wood fires, where the Yule log is going to be, and then eventually we're going to coal fires, which are not the same. And this TV channel in, I think it was maybe Cincinnati, I don't know, they're the ones that came up with the whole televised Christmas Yule log thing, since people did not have fires in their fireplaces anymore.
And now you can get so many variations of the Yule log.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
And the second thing, okay, and I don't know if anybody in areas other than Arkansas, now you have the NORAD Santa tracker.
Yeah, it's a Santa tracker.
But growing up, and I don't know if you remember this, because your family went to, about to say, because with my husband's family, somewhere a chicken sleeps, and so must we. But if you we're staying up like at 9 or 10 on Christmas Eve, they would break in.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, and the weatherman would say, we have spotted Santa on radar coming into our area.
That was better get those kids in bed.
Yes, that, you run for me.
Wink, wink, parents.
Something that somebody triggered a thought here. Kwanzaa was first celebrated in 1966. I don't ever remember hearing about it until
no, but we are in a very whitewashed part of the country.
We are. We are a very whitewashed part of the nation. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We mentioned Hanukkah. Didn't want to forget Kwanzaa. But one thing that I wanted to bring up, this kind of came out of nowhere. When we were at church on Christmas, instead of giving... So I think we did gifts every once in a while, but it was always the thing for people to get a box of fruit and nuts and stuff. So did you guys, apparently you did, so did you guys have similar?
I mean, we did gifts, but there were the
I think we did gifts as well sometimes, but I do remember always getting the apples and oranges and so on.
Well, that time of year too, you'd see all the fruit baskets in the grocery stores.
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere they were there, and fruits and nuts.
Which brings me to the most divisive topic we can talk about, because I didn't bring it up.
Fruitcake?
Fruit on ham.
Oh.
I like it.
I like it. You're wrong, wife.
Blasphemy.
Pineapple on ham.
No.
Oh, the family story that I remember hearing is, you didn't get fruit very often back in the 20s and 30s, and so that was when you put it on a big celebratory thing like a ham. And so I just love pineapple and ham together, which means...
it's not that I won't eat it.
No.
I don't think it's...
No, I'm just saying it's such a dividing line. Yeah. You either are for it or completely against it. And so I love pineapple and Canadian bacon pizzas, and there's all those memes about... you're going to hell if you eat this type things.
Blasphemy. You brought up Hanukkah song with Sandler on SNL, Sweaty Balls.
Oh. Thank you for joining us today on The Delicious Dish on NPR.
Pete Sweaty, one of the most classic skits of all time.
How they kept a straight face is beyond me.
God.
And that's
professionals.
Christmas? I say, this is Christmas related?
Yeah.
I believe you.
I believe it is, because it was a Christmas gift. From good old Pete Sweaty.
I'm going to Uncle Google on this one.
Yeah, Uncle Google. I believe it comes up on their Christmas special every year.
Well, because it's brilliant. Oh, well, if we're talking about SNL, when they had the Tonto, Frankenstein, and the Lone Ranger. No, it's Tonto, Frankenstein, and somebody.
It's Tonto, Frankenstein, and it wasn't a caveman because what's his face was playing Frankenstein. Tarzan. There we go.
Yep. The Christmas song. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, season's greetings from Tarzan and Tonto. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's hard to beat SNL for Christmas stuff.
With John Malkovich reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh my gosh,
that just sounds frightening.
It's like, you know what we got for Christmas? We sucked on pennies. And it was a delight.
Made me think of the Little House on the Prairie one, too. Because we all watched that when we were a kid. What did they get? A piece of candy and some red mittens or something like that?
Oh, Hanukkah Harry.
Hanukkah Harry.
That's where the Herschel Shlomo thing came from. Hanukkah Harry.
Yeah.
Herschel. On Shlomo. Yes, because Santa got sick then.
John Lovitz. Yeah, John
1989.
Lovitz. Brilliant. It's Hanukkah Harry.
X, yeah.
Yeah,
if you haven't watched it, Google it. It's
SNL
for comedy.
Has some great Christmas skits
and Hanukkah.
There's a lot of Hanukkah in there. Well, it's where Sandler even unveiled his Hanukkah song.
Right.
I'm sure there's a few more things that'll hit my brain later.
Oh, yeah.
We just need to take notes and think about a show where you can come back and say, okay, I needed to mention this and forgot.
Yeah, here's all this
Throw
other
a bonus episode out there. Hey, guess what? We forgot because we're old.
I do have an AARP card here. I'll hold it up to the microphone so you can hear it.
I just looked up SNL Christmas, and about the third thing down, NPR's delicious dish, sweaty balls.
Balls.
For you listeners, I need you to know that sweaty is spelled SHWEDDY. Sweaty, supposedly a last name. Sweaty balls.
Do whatever you want with them, ladies. My balls are here for your pleasure.
Yes.
Getting blue.
Oh my gosh. That was. Well, that's what they were. They were skirting it.
Oh, they had.
Years later, they had Betty White on, and hers were Dusty Muffins.
I remember Dusty Muffins.
Oh,
they always had. Well, the funny thing with the NPR thing was they were also like, I don't have that in my house because, as I had said before, I have a major rat infestation in my house.
Dick in a Box.
Yep, that was
Andy Samberg, Justin Timberlake.
Fantastic celebration of the holiday season.
Yes.
Letting you know the proper way to give a gift. Oh my gosh, yeah. And those characters produced 2 or 3 different songs.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, SNL's put out some material. Trying to think if there's anything else. We'll probably have to write a list later.
I'm tapped.
And probably have to have our other missing pieces to the GenXperts. They probably listen to this and go, you didn't talk about this. You didn't talk about this. Oh, yeah, well.
All right, guys, make a Google Doc. Let's make a list of all the stuff we didn't talk about.
We still got weeks before. We might be able to squeeze in another one. But we're going to go ahead and sign off for today. I think we've put our old addled brains to about as much as we can do. This is GenXperts Podcast. We're signing off. Hey, remember, comment. If there's something you want us to cover, let us know. Comment to us. Y'all guys have a good holiday season. We'll talk to you soon.